Hello, everybody, and here's a message I would like you to receive right now.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Oh, that's right. It's morning time, and you're here with me, which is pretty sad times, but that's okay, because something new is happening today. You know, I wake up, and there's just all this Rogan news. There's all this stuff going on, and I'm like, man, I want to give it to you all, but I can't, because, you know, I talk a lot, and each subject is a delicate thing that needs to be combed out like Tony Hinchcliffe. And I decided that today we are doing something new. This is going to be a morning thing, and hopefully it keeps going on. But I want first to introduce you to the Rogangster News Hour. That's right, the Rogangster News Hour. And why are we calling it the Rogangster News Hour? Well, that's a good question, but I think this might answer it. That's right, baby, because I'm a thug. And so now we're going into the Rogangster News Hour. So let's get into it. First things first, the elephant graveyard. Boy, oh boy, boy, oh boy, boy, oh boy. As you can see here, this cult classic, this Oscar-nominated worthy movie, this stroke of genius is now back online. And it looks like, I think this one got taken down. I think this was up yesterday. I know this was up. Yeah. So I mean, like, these three got taken down. This one was up. I think, I don't know about the Misfits thing, but he got the band hammer or something happened to him yesterday. But behold, he's back. And you know what that means, fellers? That means we done won. We done beat down the Rogan. Now, don't get it twisted, fellas. We won something very small, but significant. Very small and significant. And we all know at any time, the Rogan machine can come down with its lawyers and its connections to YouTube and the government and make our lives miserable, which I'm expecting at any moment. Y'all think, I'm so happy. Let me tell you something. I'm so happy. Let me just tell you something. Hold on. There's something in my eye. No, unlike Joe Rogan, it's not cum. Listen. I enjoy speaking to you guys, and I have enjoyed the flood of subscribers, and I enjoyed that. And a lot of y'all are just waiting for the shoe to drop, for me to start making money, for me to start wearing flashy clothes and stuff. A lot of y'all are waiting. No, probably not. This is just all in my head. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. This is all in my head. I'm thinking that's what you're thinking. But here's the thing. When you do stuff like this, you push some buttons, and I'm not sitting there going, oh my God, look at all my subscribers. Oh my God, look, I'm just getting so big. I'm just like, when's the shoe gonna drop? When are they gonna come after me? When are they gonna spank me, bend me? Oh, you know what I mean? I'm not ready. That's what I think about fame. Fame ain't shit. Fame don't make you happy. Already done that one time. It ain't great. The money thing, yeah, the money's great. The money's great. The money's good. But money don't make you happy. So I'm just sitting there, an anxiety-ridden guy like me. I know it may not look like it, but I have constant anxiety because I hate myself, first off. And then I think everything I do sucks. Even though, yeah, it sucks. And that's how it goes. Side rant. Anyways, the elephant graveyard. We took it to the hoop. Thank you, guys. Y'all took it to the hoop. You stood up. Get up. Stand up. Bump, 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 bump. Stand up. Oh, your rights. Rastafari. Ever living Selassie-ida turd. Anyways, you guys stood up. And I appreciate that. A lot of fun. A lot of fun seeing you guys not give a fuck and taking it to the man. Isn't that our dream? Aren't you tired of just having shitty people ruin your life because they're in the government? And this was great. This was a victory for us. And check this one out.
Why'd you say that shit about Joe, bro? You jealous, bro?
Yeah, you some kind of hater, bro?
Friggin' hater, man.
Joe will crush you with his $250 million.
He's fucking
With a 250 mil, with a 250 mil. Listen, let me tell you something. You can buy people out, but at the end of the day, $250 million does protect you. And the only way it doesn't is when the people rise up. And when the people rise up, 250 mil don't matter. Don't matter. Because what you understand, we give you your power. This is what people don't understand. This guy put it out here, and I think this is one of the staff members. It says has been abducted and dragged into the deep dark wood by some upset Joe Rogan acolytes. We are working with a local search and rescue to try and recover him, but even we have to be realistic and admit the chances of finding him are slim. The cold fall air has been flowing into our northern Canadian forest during these late summer nights, and excruciating exposure. He's enduring it, likely to be fatal. We can hold out hope, but these acolytes are really bad guys and very, very upset, and they have dragged him very deep into the woods. Anyway, we have regained control of the channel from those bad guys and promise there will be lots more videos on the way. We will leave their snuff film up out of respect for our fallen brother. Hey, man, let's take a moment. And for the fallen brother at the elephant graveyard, we're going to just take a moment. And I will always love you. All right, let's go. On to the show. Anyways, thanks, Elephant Graveyard, for doing what you do. You spanked him up, and we're here happy that video is back up. You can't hide greatness from the world, especially when it exposes Joe Rogan. You can't. Y'all think we hate Joe. No, we don't hate Joe Rogan. We hate what he stands for. People say, well, Joe Rogan deserves to be canceled. Well, first off, you ain't going to cancel him. He's got all that money. What are you canceling? I mean, nah, I'm not about the canceling. Maybe Joe Rogan can come over the hump. Maybe not. But also, here's the thing. When you get so evil that you work with the government to affect the masses, you're kind of gone. You're kind of gone, and I'm trying to wrestle with that one with Joe Rogan. Do I just get him out of my life because he's just a scum fucking government agent? Or do I hope he comes back? I don't know, man. When that brings me to my next point. Brings me to my next article here. This was a good article. Short, but it proved my point. That was a fucking good article, dog. I'm not gonna lie to you. It says Russell Crowe was fucking amazing. Joe Rogan has fans up in arms with default guest Mike Baker's appearance on the JRE podcast. Well, Mike Baker, what a cuck. Mike Baker. Mike Baker. Someone else fucks his wife. I just know that. Because if you have a kid named Sluggo, the only reason you name your kid Sluggo is if another man jizzed in your woman. That is the only way. Because Sluggo, who the fuck calls their kid Sluggo? Sluggo? Are you serious? Do you want your kid to get hated on? Hey, Sluggo! Can you give me a tackle? I don't know I said that. But hey, you get the point. Sluggo. That kind of sounds like another man jizzed in your woman, got him pregnant, and that was the name. You could barely stand to look at the child, but you had to name it something. You're just like, when you had to call it to throw it food, you know what I mean? Sluggo! Ah, Sluggo! Take your food, you little fuck! Anyways, Sluggo. Dude, I hate Mike Baker. Mike Baker is such a cuck. Mike Baker reminds me of every government employee. You're like, bro, what are you bro, why are you working for the government, dog? What are you doing? Why are you hurting innocent people for the government? What are you doing? Come on! What are you doing? Mike! And that's it. And they're just like uptight, and you just know if you say anything in front of them, they're going to go tell HR, and then you're going to be in the office by 2:30, right when they come back from lunch. And I just don't trust them. And why? Why does Joe Rogan have him on? Because he's a mouthpiece now for whatever the government. I think Mike Baker is a fuckstick that comes on the show, and he just comes in and tells you, what Joe Rogan will hit on. like hot topics in the news. So, what do you think about a Ukraine? Oh, you know, America has its best interests, and those bombs. Uh-oh, whoopsies, but America's the greatest. Don't mind us. You're just like, Joe, what are you doing with this beep on your show? Let's go through this here. I'll just give credit. Ishan Yadav for Essentially Sports. I don't even know what the fuck that is, but they made my point, so I'm going to read it. Where are we here? Okay, well, Rogan's choice of guests was being lauded greatly, and now it seems that Rogan, he had previously intrigued listeners by inviting guests like Russell Crowe and Luis Elizondo. That Luis guy, that's a plant too. But Russell Crowe, you saw I made a thing, I was like, oh shit, Joe Rogan's coming back. Is he gonna do the good shit? Nah. But it says here, it seems like the former CIA covert operations officer, Mike McDude, that guy doesn't strike fear in the hearts of nothing. The only thing that guy has, and this is what this whole guy lives for. This is his whole guy's shtick. He knows he just like Rogan, he's a short little guy. So he has to use his power to dominate people. And that's what Mike does. People say CIA, you know, this is my saying. When someone says CIA, go the other way, right? Go the other way. You know, no, dude, what you want, CIA? I'm out. I don't want nothing to do. I don't know nothing. No. I'm going to go to coffee shop. It's safe. Terrorists do not run that place. It's a coffee shop in America. Leave me alone. I'm out. I'm not going to sell crack for you. I'm not going to go and start a war in Afghanistan so we can get the opium and start a massive drug epidemic in our country. No, I'm not going to do that. Not at all. I'm out. Right? Anyways, it says the issues appear to have stemmed from Mike Baker's repeated appearances on Joe Rogan's podcast, with several fans even going as far as to accuse him of being a boring guest who doesn't reveal much and tends to beat around the bush. This consistent pattern has caused palpable frustration among listeners, making them angry at the mere mention of Mike Baker. Yeah, dude, he's a fucking tool. That guy's not cool at all. Who would be friends with Mike Baker? Oh, another unfunny comedian who dominates his friends with his money in his comedy club and is hungry for power over anything else. Who would be friends with him? Oh, this guy. Okay. Sorry. I went off on that tangent. Forgive me, guys. Sometimes I go off on dumb tangents. It says, this appearance of Baker on Joe Rogan's podcast marks his 4th appearance in 4 months. Yeah, why the fuck, dude? You know, y'all, we have some people like, yo, baby, you just doing all this conspiracy stuff. No, I was right, man. No, listen here, guys. Let me tell you something. I may not be the smartest tool in the shed. R.I.P. Smash Mouth. One love. But if I put something on the internet, it's most likely right. You know, I can gamble. I got to gamble on a few options in life. I don't have many options, but I always pick the best option. And then I just go with it. And I was right in calling this out. Somebody sent me something yesterday, and it was on this episode. And the best thing, the comment, I mean, you could find the comment. I can't. Someone hold on. Someone sent it to me. Here we go. Yeah, it says, this is a comment on the thing. Oh, it says, Joe, I know you don't read the comments, but blink twice if you're forced to bring this guy on once a month. It's true, man. I don't get the Mike Baker thing. This guy is a total, like, I don't know. Anyways, we're moving on. We are moving on because I fucking hate Mike Baker, and that guy should never come on again. He's useless. He's a shill. He's like, let me tell you what to think about the atrocities the country is committing, and I'm going to glaze them over and make it look like we were made to dominate the whole fucking entire world. Wow, we have ghettos and our cities are falling apart. Hey, let's send more money overseas. Yeah, America. Fuck yeah. All right. Anyways, this one is good here. This one is good. The New Yorker. I used to have a subscription to the New Yorker. And then when the whole COVID thing started, I guess everybody started shifting mainly to political agenda, but I always liked the writers. But now, I just not if you get political right or left, I'm out, dog. Blip. But I thought this was funny. I'm going to read it to you. I'm not going to read it on screen. These little guys will come and like cut my dick off. That's just how it is. And some of the things that stand out, it's a good piece. It says, it can be hard to tell these days what some people mean by comedy. By the evidence of the work that comedians are doing, jokes may have dropped out of the definition. Like other performers in our balkanized, make-your-own primetime entertainment landscape, many comedians act less like artists or court gestures than like notionally humorous leaders of affinity groups or of minor, mostly harmless cults. Ooh. Damn, doggy. He's calling Rogan a cult. Rogan a cult? It says this rather new phenomenon has to do with the fact that comedians are springing up from more corners of our media purview than ever. Increasingly, you don't first become aware of them as comedians. One might be a podcaster you like, or make Instagram posts that show up on your Explorer page. Maybe another is a scene-stealing guest star on one of our favorite shows. Only later do you realize that they also happen to have a special on the way. Dude, I just want to say, it's crazy, right? Because everyone around Joe Rogan is absolute dog shit. And it's surprising because he's just done this out of nowhere. Out of nowhere. It says here, take Joe Rogan, for instance. He comes to prominence and to infamy by way of his podcast. A hotbed of dorm room conversation that sometimes plays as a mildly endearing bull session, but just as often takes a turn towards conspiracy thinking and florid misinformation. With a goddamn, bro, sometimes these writers, these fucking sentences, this has like 7 commas already. All right, with a formlessly reactionary bent. Rogan is a longtime stand-up, but it's hard to find somebody who knew him first for his jokes. That's what it is, man. It's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy. He was a bit ahead of the curve in at least one way. He built a career by other means. Yep. Well before his podcast, it says, well before he started his podcast, he was the host of an equally enriching program, Fear Factor. Yeah. Okay, here we go. This is important. Here's important. In his new Netflix special, Burn the Boats, Rogan tells a story about Fear Factor challenge that was so much more deranged than usual. The network NBC decided not to air it. It involved donkeys and their reproductive emissions. I'm sorry to report this bit of news, but Rogan is not. Oh yeah, he loves donkey cum. He luxuriates in the scenario. Rhapsodizes about the stuff, buckets of it, not for any revelation, but to milk his crowd for gross out reactions. Not laughs, but groans. In the special, which aired live in early August, an experiment that Netflix started with Chris Rock's successful post-slap routine, Selective Outrage, Rogan wears jeans and an untucked mustard yellow button-up shirt. Business casual for guys who work for themselves. He shouts a lot, his way of creating emphasis when the logical gist of a joke won't do the trick. You remember what I said 5 minutes ago about always being right when I posted? I was right. We were all right, actually. But I broke it down. And it doesn't really matter. I'm not trying to get credit. I'm just trying to point you to something. That was my point. And if I make a good point that other people agree with, fuck yeah! I'm going to try and make it known, okay? I'm going to try and make it known. But here's the thing. Joe Rogan relies so heavily on his physical emotions, his physical, I don't know what to call it, the stuff he does with his hands. And he focuses on his eyes. He's like, laugh, laugh, laugh. You know, he does that when you watch him and everything. Because, and he always, and you know, okay, point. Slow down, Leo. I know you might have some things going on that make you just jump from thought to thought, but slow down. Okay. But listen, all of that shit is to cue you because you don't know where to laugh because nothing's funny. And you saw that moment where Joe Rogan did the Donkey Kong thing, and he's all, that's what they do. And it's just like he was bombing. He goes, I was on a show called Fear Factor. And the crowd goes, ah. Oh, did I just do Joe Rogan laugh? Ah. Anyways. He starts the special, shot at the Majestic Theater in San Antonio and directed by Anthony Giordano, with some local patter about Texas where he now lives. Dude, you know the dumbest joke? I couldn't even believe he did it. The dumbest joke. I only saw like 20 minutes. Was like, Texas weed. Yeah, you got to be careful when you smoke Texas weed. Because if you smoke it, like the souls of the ancestors that the Texas government has murdered and slaughtered over the centuries will come back up like, you killed me. I'm a ghost. Go fuck your mother. And I was just like, okay. He moved his podcast operation there and has opened a club called Comedy Mothership in Austin. Sounding annoyed, he notes that some media outlets have called it an anti-woke comedy club. You mean a comedy club? He says with an exasperated tone. It's a clunky bit of group reinforcing business aimed directly at the erogenous zones of his fans. You know, sometimes I like the New Yorker writers, sometimes, not everyone's political, but, you need good writers, because I would have never thought that Joe Rogan likes to target his fans' erogenous zones. All right. All right. We just like to laugh. Everybody used to be like that. It's them, our detractors, who are weirdly fixated, And it says here, indeed, large part of Rogan's ethos is the kind of misdirection about what constitutes an unthinking group. The sort of trans joke he tells is quite old now. Forget about being offensive. Whatever happened to trying not to be a hack? This one is about the way that like-minded lemmings come together and create a lattice work of ideas. I understand why people want to be on a team. So you just find a team that aligns with your values, right? Like, what does your team believe? We believe that healthcare is a basic human right. I agree. This is Joe Rogan. We think that education should be free. Me too. And men can get pregnant. Fuck, is that a package deal? How did that one slip through? Like for me, jokes like that, they aren't about like what side you choose to be on in that issue, right? I'm just so tired of politics. I am so tired. It never works. It never has worked. It never will work. When you have greedy ass motherfucking humans in control of something, you get the government. And how you guys trust that, I don't know. But me, I've made a decision in my life that I don't. And that I'm just not going to worry about what goes on with them. Because it doesn't matter unless it's at my front door, which could be a problem in the future because... Anyways, long subject. It says, Rogan is very worried about pregnant men. I guess he thinks they're funny. But he also, with his shouted incredulity... Oh, fuck it. That's a hard word for me to say right now. Wants you to think, like he does, that the mere idea of them is universally applicable symbol of social politica mania. All right. Yeah. Let's just get to the point here at the end. Let's see. Oh, this is a different comedian. Let's see. Yeah, it says here. This is good. Okay, here we go. Disoriented with my encounter with Rogan, I went looking for other specials. Hopefully they revive my enthusiasm for a form of entertainment that I go to for surprises, not for assurances of my own correctness. This article goes into Matt Rife and Langston Kerman. I don't really know much about those guys. Matt Rife looks like a kid that's a little shit in school that would get punched in the fucking mouth in the parking lot. That's all I'm going to say. That guy's a little twerp. I just don't like him. He's a little twerp. Matt Rife, he's the guy that'll look at you while he's banging your crush. You know what I mean? Why are you in the room? I don't know, but I'm just saying that's what would happen. But in an age where so many people on our screens have some irritating point to prove, that's exactly what I'm saying. Maybe work like Kerman's is the way to get back to comedy on its own terms, as an art to be enjoyed in its purest form. Get up there, tell some jokes. I don't want to join a club. A motherfucking man. A motherfucking men. Oh. Did I just do a little Joe Rogan? Did I emphasize men? I emphasized men, didn't I? Anyways, here we go. I want to show you Comedy Enforcement has done an update. Moving on from that other shit. Comedy Enforcement has done an update, and I think it's cool. I'm just going to give you a little review. Those haven't seen. Joe Rogan started shit with Bert Kreischer, and it turns out, and he blamed Mark Maron. And what Mark Maron said had nothing to do with Bert Kreischer. It was just Joe stirring the shit. And I'll just give you a little review here.
But
yeah. But I decided just to be diplomatic and not mention names. And then somebody on Instagram was like, talking about Kreischer.
Oh, that's how it started.
And then it picked up some traction in that world. I don't even know any of this is going on.
Yeah.
And
I didn't,
on TikTok.
Yeah. You saw it?
Yeah.
So I had no idea any of this is going on.
Wow.
And then I'm flipping through the stuff, and I saw Bert at the Comedy Store, before I knew anything, and he was like so shut down and weird. I'm like, what's going on? You good? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, what the?
Wow.
Why, Bert? You never see Bert like that.
Yeah.
Now, the comment about Tom Segura being the smart one because he holds back and lets other people talk is what then led him to talk about Bert Kreischer and the whole situation. And funny enough, we actually mentioned something very similar on our last video, how Tom Segura did actually learn from his previous mistakes instead of doubling down, whereas Bert Kreischer has been tripling down. And
It's true. Bert Kreischer has been a piece of shit. Here's the original clip, I think. Yeah, is he going? I just don't. Here we go. Here's the original clip.
definitely talking about Bert Kreischer.
Netflix is creating a cash grab culture for a certain echelon of comics. Incentive to do lazy specials. Man, they're giving me what? It's the way the world works now. You can go see guys on their rambling, drunk, pop-up cash grab tour. Thousands of people pay millions of dollars to say, "Nah, it's okay. You know, it's a few good jokes."
And look, if you actually think about it, that.
So I think this is where the point I want to reiterate, and it's about Joe Rogan, because this whole thing isn't about Bert or Mike. They're just casualties. Joe Rogan started this by sending Bert Kreischer the text message that was like, "He's not your friend, blah, blah, blah." Joe is totally all up in this gravy, cheese, butter, whatever that means. He's all up in it. And I think it's unfair. And I just want to show, this is just a day of me pointing out that I was right. He thinks the same thing.
That story is pretty silly because that would mean that Joe Rogan actually saw Mark Maron trashing and describing a horrible comedian, someone who he clearly didn't respect. And Joe Rogan's first thought was, oh, he's definitely talking about.
Right? Isn't that right?
Let me reach out to him and ruin his day. I mean, that's absolutely insane. And what's interesting is that I actually saw Too Lazy to Try covering this last year, back when it happened, back when Bert Kreischer first told the story on that podcast about a comic that was trashing him. And back then, I didn't really think it was that big of a deal. I mean, it was pretty interesting, but I didn't think it was that crazy just because, you know, hearing a comic like Mark Maron talk like that wasn't that mind-blowing. However, now we're coming to find out that the whole thing wasn't even about Bert Kreischer. And also that means that Bert Kreischer pretty much started some fake beef over nothing and also made Mark.
That is right. Fake beef. And if you don't believe it, and if you want to know, Joe Rogan likes to talk a big game, right? Likes to talk a big game. But as you can see here, I saw this yesterday. Andrew Huberman made an appearance. Let's see. Let's just see what no, let's not. Anyways, point of this, you can watch it yourself. This is relatively new, so I don't want to jump on this guy's thing yet. But listen, in this episode, he trashes Bert Kreischer. I mean, what kind of friend is Joe Rogan? You know, look at this guy, man. And here's the thing. Get your bottom teeth fixed, Joe. Get your bottom teeth fixed, dog. You can't just do the top. You got to do the bottoms. You got to look like the bottoms or you look like a little snaggletooth. And get them fixed, dog. Trust me, it's worth it. Anyways, I think we can say that Joe Rogan is just not a good friend. You know what? Let me tell you something. If you trash me on a podcast that goes around the world and is the biggest podcast in the world, that will reach millions of people, then we'll get clipped and we'll reach millions of people. Then we'll end up on these shows and we'll reach millions of people. If you motherfucking did that shit to me, boy, bumbaclot. That's all I'm going to say. That would not be a good day. That's not cool. All bets are off. If you put me out there like that in front of the world, but you better call Tyrone. All right, here we go. Lastly, I hope you're having a better day at work because, you know, I'm here. But lastly, this is just a random one, and I just can't believe politics has gotten to this point. And what am I talking about? Swifties for Kamala. Now look, I believe the president has been chosen. I just believe this is all just shit. So I'm not going to get into the political part. Who you want, Kamala or Trump. You know, Kamala, don't trust her. It is what it is. It's who you believe. The point I'm trying to make is how the fuck did we get here? How the fuck is a fan group for a pop candy cum guzzle? Sorry. How did we get to the point where a pop candy mainstream trash Taylor Swift is using a fucking fan club? Do you remember back in the day of fan clubs? You used to have to write out like a little letter and send it in the mail, and they send you like with $5 or 99 cents, and they'd be like, you're part of their fan club. You get our newsletter. And that's crazy. It's so crazy that now, dude, America is a reality show. Ain't nobody taking us seriously, dog. Dude, we must look like fucking idiots to the rest of the world, dude. We have Swifties for... Oh, a Taylor Swift fan group is now a force in politics. Oh. I don't know. Maybe we're helpless. But I don't have much to say. It's just going to make my head hurt, you know? It's going to make my head hurt. And I'm going to leave you with this. To make your day a little brighter, and a little happier, I'm going to leave you with this.
Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning.
Have a good day, y'all, and peace out.